Hello everyone! Today we are going to talk more about intervals. As I explained to you before, intervals are actually the relationships between tones. And you learned two relationships between tones already. The semitone step, for example between E and F, and a whole tone step, for example between the C and the D. But there are more relationships that notes can form with each other. These relationships are called the intervals. So today we are going to find out which other intervals we would find in a major scale. For this we need our little measuring tool, the keyboard. So let's measure the distance from a C to a C, from one note to the same note. We find that there is no semitone or 0 semitone steps between the C and another C. Whenever you find this, we call it unison. From a C to a D, we learned it's a whole tone. But this whole tone has also a name in the group of intervals. The name is the major second. Now, how many semitone steps do we find between a C and an E? 1, 2, 3, 4. The name for this interval between a C and an E is the major third. And the major third has a distance of 4 semitone steps. How about the C and the F? Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 semitone steps. We call this interval a perfect fourth. How about the C and the G? We find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 semitone steps. We call this relationship a perfect fifth. How about the C and the A? We find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 semitone steps between a C and an A. This interval we call a major sixth. How about a C and a B? We count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 semitone steps. We call the distance between the C and the B a major seventh. Last but not least, we have the C up to the next C. We find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We call this distance a perfect octave. So you see, everything we found out before I put into a little table. Perfect unison equals 0 semitone steps, like from C to C. A major second equals 2 semitone steps. A major third 4, a perfect fourth 5, a perfect fifth 7, a major sixth 9, a major seventh 11, and a perfect octave would be 12 semitone steps. So how about the rest of the intervals? An interval that uses only one semitone is called a minor second. So let's find an example for a minor second. You might remember that there is a semitone step between E and F, so this interval is called a minor second. An interval with 3 semitone steps is called a minor third. For example, between D and F we find 1, 2, 3 semitones. The interval that uses 6 semitones is called a tritone. And tritone means in fact 3 tones, 3 whole tones. 3 whole tones are 6 semitones. So where can we find a tritone within the major scale? Between F and B we find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 semitones and 1, 2, 3 whole tones. So the interval between the F and the B is called a tritone. The interval that uses 8 semitone steps is called the minor sixth. An example for the minor sixth would be the E to the C. Here we find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 semitone steps. The interval that has a distance of 10 semitone steps would be called the minor seventh. An example for the minor seventh would be the distance between a D and a C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 semitones. So you see that the major scale offers us all intervals: perfect unison, minor and major seconds, minor and major thirds, the perfect fourth, the tritone, the perfect fifth, the minor and major sixth, the minor seventh and the major seventh, and a perfect octave. And that's it for now.